Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Amy, and today we have a very specific goal in mind. For those of you who might remember, I decided to set up my reading journal in September of last year. I believe the title was Is September Too Late to Start a Reading Journal? And I have found that the answer was yes, because I set it up, I was very excited about it, and then I didn't touch it for the rest of the year. However, I would like the opportunity to try this again. Journaling is something that I do pretty frequently, and reading is also something I do pretty frequently, and so bringing the two together really shouldn't be a problem. However, before we can start logging anything, we have to set up our yearly pages, which is what we're going to hop into now. I'm going to hand you over to Amy of the Past, who has just started setting up her reading journal, and I will check in with you in a little bit. Alrighty, we're all caught up. If you have any questions about the journal that I am using, it is the same one I was using last year. I think it's really pretty. There are still a lot of pages that have to be used, and so I thought I would just continue in this book. I have so far completed my 2026 cover page as well as my reading goals. It looks like this. I'm very happy with it. I think it's pretty cute. What really helped me in 2025 was picking a color palette that I wanted to stick to throughout the year. It just made setting up the pages a whole lot easier, and so I think I'm going to sit down and do that now. In terms of the actual pages that I want to make next, I do know that I want to set up my yearly pages in this video. What those pages consist of, however, I cannot tell you at this point in time. So I think I'm going to stop yapping and start doing, and I will catch up with you in a little bit. Hello, friends. I do apologize. I'm coming to you today with very little energy. I suffer from chronic migraines, and I happened to be hit by one last night, and so we are recovering today. I wanted to give you a little check-in on the reading journal. Yesterday, I managed to map out a couple of pages. I have very much just done bare bones kind of outlining for the journal thus far. I am planning to decorate all in one go just because I find that that is A, the most fun, but B, also the most effort. And so if I can get the bare bones stuff done first, then I feel like we've made some really good progress. So I'm going to flip you down so that you can see what I've done so far, and then we can talk about how I'm going to use these spreads. Starting off strong, we have the 2 pages that I've already decorated and completed in their entirety. So we have my 2026 title page, if you will, and then I have the 5 reading goals that I would like to keep track of this year. 2 of them are reading adjacent, so I would like to keep posting videos on YouTube and I would like to use my reading journal, whereas the other 3 are actually reading related. If you flip over, we get into the data that I want to track. So on this page, we have my year in pixels. Last year, I did try to track what I was reading in this format. And while I think this format looks very cool, I'm not very good at keeping track of when I start a book. I am pretty good at keeping track of when I finished a book. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on in 2026. So here I have 31 blocks for every single month. I know that not all months have 31 days, but I just like the uniformity that it gives me. And the aim of the game is to say when I finished a book, when I finished a 5-star read, or when I've decided to unhaul some books. And so this little index shows you the kind of notation I will be using for each category. If I put a dot in the block, it means I finished a book that day. If I put a little tick in the block, it means I read a 5-star book, and a little X means that I have unhauled books. Then, for further tracking, there are some things that I wanted to keep track of this year, and I've decided to do it in a pie chart format. So, this top one will be my fiction versus non-fiction percentages for 2026. This will be the books that I read from my physical TBR versus other sources. And this one was something that I was tracking last year that I had a lot of fun with, which is authors that are new to me versus authors that I have read before. These, however, will stay empty until the end of 2026, and so I'm hoping it looks cool when the time comes. For further tracking purposes, I use Storygraph, and Storygraph gives you a very good breakdown of the number of books you've read in a month as well as the number of pages that you've read in a month. And I just wanted to copy that physically. So I have the first letter of every month at the bottom here, and then I have the pages in this graph and the number of books in this graph. And the idea is just to color this block to the appropriate height, if that makes sense. Then we have my general monthly statistics. So for January to December, I'm going to be tracking the number of books I read, the pages of books I read, how many audiobooks, ebooks, and physical books I read, the number of 5-stars that I read that month, the number of non-fictions that I read that month, and the new authors versus known to me authors. This will help me fill out the pie chart on the previous page, but it also gives you some pretty cool statistics at the end of the year. In the pages that are coming up next, I am going to be making a wish list of books that I would like to acquire. These are usually books that I read throughout the year that I do not own physically but would like to, and the books that I have bought throughout the year. So I'm going to pen in these pages and then we'll see what happens next. Welcome to the flip through portion of this video. So you will be familiar with these two pages. I have finished setting up my yearly pages. The monthly pages, I haven't quite decided how I'm going to be formatting that. I want to give myself enough space for actual book reviews, and so I don't want any predetermined layouts, as I sometimes write more or less depending on how inclined I feel to talk about the book. So here we have my 2026 cover page, followed up by my reading goals. From there on, we start getting into statistics and things that we can track. I'm going to be trying a My Year in Pixels, but for my reading journal. If you're looking for inspiration or ideas for your journal, I will leave you some resources down below. There's a creator that I like, and she has a very extensive list of reading journal and bullet journal ideas. So if that is helpful, please do check the description. But for this spread, the idea is to notate when I finish books. I think having a visual representation of how long it takes me to finish books throughout the year could be very, very cool. As you can see in the bottom here, I have an index for how I would like to mark the pages. So finished a book is a dot within the square, a 5-star book is a tick, and an unhaul is a cross. I am also very much a color coding person, and so I have given each category their own colors as well. Then we have the pie charts that I'm going to be filling out. I am hoping that they look really, really cool by the end of the year. This page is looking a little bit blank. I really like how I did the decorations on this page, but I was kind of stuck on what to place on this page. So if you have any ideas, please do leave them down below. But the next pages are also very much to do with stats and tracking stuff. So these two are going to be bar graphs. I'm just going to color in the appropriate either page number or books that I have read throughout the month. And then these guys give me so much joy to fill in. I had a lot of fun with them last year, and the cool thing is about it that you can check your stats on a monthly basis, but I've added a little totals column for the bottom. So at the end of the year, you can get a yearly overview of your reading as well, which I find to be pretty cool. Then we have my book wish list. I'm not entirely sure I'm in love with this page, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now. I find that if I try and fix stuff, I usually end up making it worse. So these are liable to change because the book buying page looks very similar, but I'm getting ahead of myself. This page is for the books that I wish to acquire physically. So here I have the title. Then I have how I've gotten it. Did I buy it new? Did I thrift it? Was it gifted? Then I have the date in which I acquired it and whether or not I have read it. This column is going to be very interesting to fill in because normally books that make it to my wish lists are books that I have read but don't own physically, and so I just kind of want to see if there are any books that I want to acquire that I have not yet read. The next page is the books I bought, so the layout is very similar, but I will be tracking different things. We are going to be looking at titles, the date when I bought the book, how much money the book cost me, and then whether or not I read it. I don't particularly feel the need to read all of the new books I acquire in the year within that year, but I do think it would be interesting to see how many of the books I bought in 2026 actually ended up being read in 2026. So I did just want to give myself the opportunity to track that as well. This marks the end of my yearly pages. From this point onwards, we're going into a monthly kind of setup. I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be anything else that I would like to track on a monthly basis or within the monthly pages. The monthlies are really just there for my book reviews, and I don't like using a predetermined layout for my book reviews because depending on how you feel about a book, you can either write a lot or have not much to say at all. And so I really just wanted to give myself the freedom to write as much as I felt was appropriate for each book. And that, my friends, is my 2026 reading journal so far. Am I the happiest with it? No, absolutely not. But this is something that you get to iterate and try again, and so I really appreciate if you stuck through for the entire video. I really enjoy making these videos, and the last time I made one, you guys seemed to enjoy it as well. So please feel free to let me know what your favorite book journal page or spread was. Let me know if you are doing a book journal and what you would like to be tracking. I hope that 2026 has been treating you well. Next week I should be posting a reading vlog, so if that is something that you're interested in, please do hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!